Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. Right, the video today on this 2010 Vauxhall, Opel, depends where you are, Astra. This is obviously the Astra H, and the engine on this, let me put this back, the engine on this is the 1.6. So 2010 Astra 1.6 petrol, and the issue, the car. So first, this is an auction car. The guy doesn't have this car for too long, and he bought the car. The car was and is really low on power. I'm not gonna drive the car because I think we're gonna be able to assess and figure out what's wrong without having to go and let's say confirm the complaint. But one of the complaints is that the car is really low on power. He said it's very difficult to get the car to 70 or 80 miles per hour. He really struggles. But also, which is something that we're going to be able to confirm here without having to drive it, is that the car runs really bad. It looks like it's misfiring. Is really hard to start when warmed. Yeah, so that's the complaint. Now, when the car was dropped here, the car was warm, and what the car was doing, I might not gonna be here warming up the car to actually show you that, but basically you would start the car would start, would run for about 5 seconds, then the revs would start to bounce all over the place and the car would shut down. That's what I was doing. Also, the car is running really bad in a way. It really looks like it's misfiring, but I'll get it running in a second. We'll look at the exhaust. You're going to see what I mean. Is that sort of puffing coming out from the exhaust, that puffy noise as if it's missing. So, and the spanner light was on when it was dropped. When I moved the car from the front of the house to here, front of the garage, was still the spanner light was still on. So I think we're gonna have a very good picture of what's wrong with this, although from the explanations the guy gave me and from what I've seen on the car, I think I know roughly where the problem is going to be. I don't know what the problem is, but I think what's going to be related to. Just also to say, was two things changed on the car. The other guy said he changed it because he thought that was the problem. Well, him or whoever he took the car to, I don't know, which was the two solenoids for the variable intakes. Actually, let me open the bonnet and I'll show you. So apparently he told me that these two valves, that valve and that valve, they've been replaced. Overall, the engine doesn't look too bad, other than these wires here a little bit messed up, but we can fix that. Everything else looks in place. So yeah, so those valves have been changed. They confirmed that to me. I can't find the old valves on the car anywhere, but that's why he said. So without further ado, guys, let's go and start this thing and see if I can show you how bad it runs. Okay, start up. So first of all, I hope you have seen how bad it started or how difficult it was to get it running. So it really took a few turns off the engine for it to start. Now let me show you the exhaust. And it smells like petrol coming out of the exhaust. But as soon as the cold start finish, you're gonna see, you can feel, even here you can feel the car is sort of, it's not running smooth, it's sort of surging kind of. So we'll let the engine to warm up just a tiny bit. In the meantime, I will connect the maxi sys and we'll see what we have. At the moment, the spanner light is off. The spanner light was definitely on when the car was dropped, and yesterday it was on as well when I moved the car. Today is off, but it doesn't really matter. The codes are going to be logged into the ECU, so we'll let it to warm up, because as soon as it starts to warm up, all these symptoms, they start to get worse, and we're going to be able to see it much better. Okay, so I think the code on this is the Z16 XCR, but we'll do a search engine, because that way we'll get the right engine. Yes, it is. So it's the Z16 XCR, and my turbo codes. Okay, so as I said, okay, so cylinder misfire detected, one cylinder 1, intake camshaft, phasing mechanical reference position range performance bank 1. There's only one bank, so that's going to be my intake camshaft. So I think there's going to be a timing issue. Let's look at some live data, see what let's go through some live data quickly, see if we see anything that is really obvious. Okay, nothing here really. Ooh, that's bad. That's bad in there. That's bad. Okay, so we have a fuel trim issue to start with. That's bad as well. Okay, so based on my code, I'm gonna think that this is gonna be a timing issue now. Now, I could very well. Thermostat valve stuck. That's a new one. That's a new one. Let me see. Let me turn it off. All right. What, it's gonna shut off now? Let me show you this. Yeah, it's struggling, not struggling to hold the revs, but it is definitely surging. That's a new one. Not really sure why that code is there now. There we go. So the spinal light now came on with the engine starting to warming up. Let me see which code is present. I know we have that coolant thermostat, but I don't think that's the one that there we go. So that's the one that is actually triggering the light. So at this point, guys, I could very well go and start to scope the camshaft and intake signals. I would have to do it twice because my scope is a 2-channel, so I wouldn't be able to scope all the 3 signals at once. But I could go and do it and try to see what's wrong. But guys, this is quite self-explanatory. I don't need to scope the car to know or to see that there is an issue with the timing on this car. So if this is going to be the timing itself, is it going to be the VVT sprockets? Is it going to be, we don't know. But to be fair, this car is quite easy to remove the rocket cage cover, so that's what we're going to do first. Let's kind of start to dig into this and try to find out what's wrong with it. Right, this can't be good. So the car clearly had timing belt done, including the valves, but look at these bolts. Jesus, if I need to touch this, I don't know if they're going to come out. Oh my god. So someone definitely did something to this. Crap. Oh, damn it. How am I going to do this? If I need to touch this. Oh, crap. Right, so the timing belt. So obviously it looks like this had a timing belt and someone changed these sprockets as well with brand new ones. I think they are in the correct place because I think this one is the one on the exhaust. The one, this is with this shape here, and that one is the intake. I'm pretty sure they are in the right place. But yeah, right, let's gonna take the cover and see what's going on. But this is not good. How can someone do this and think it's okay to deliver the car like this? It's beyond my comprehension. By the way, it is what it is. Okay, first glance, a lot of rust on these lobes. Why would this be like this inside the engine? Maybe the engine has been off for quite a long time. Okay, a lot of rust everywhere, especially these ones here. So I'm gonna have to dig a little bit more into this. I'm gonna try to put the engine on time and see what we get. I already got this out, so I can get to there, put everything, time the engine basically, and see what we find out. Okay, so I've been here investigating a little bit more and I found a few couple things. So first of all, the engine on this, although on the ECU it tells me is the Z16XER, the engine physically here is actually the A16XER. I already checked on the engine block where it's marked right there. You can't really see it because it's behind the EGR pipe, but you can see on the head. I think you're going to be able to see it just about in there. There we go. A16XER. So that's actually the engine on this. Now the engines, as far as I'm aware, the A and Z, they are pretty much the same, just that the Z is the Euro 4 and the A is the Euro 5. I think the only thing that changes is the tuning in the ECU, etc. Mechanically, I believe the engines are exactly the same. Now I found something already that is not very good, so let me show you. So the timing, I'm gonna show you there. So that's spot on in there. Okay. On the sprockets, everything aligns perfect. Okay. But then on the side, if I try to put the tool, I can't get the tool in. I can get the tool on the exhaust. Okay. So boom, there it is. It doesn't go in on that side because the cam is not, let's see, I can't get in there. You would have to turn, I need to turn the cam now. Let me show you exactly what I mean. So when you look on the engine, so when the engine is all timed, here and at the bottom, these two cams, they should be the following. Cylinder, so piston number 2 and number 3, these lobes here, they should be pointing up slightly to the inside of the engine, which it is. So if you look at this square on top of the cup, as you can see, this is right here. That's where number 2 should be as well. So this should be there, facing the inside, facing that way, and they are literally just upright. Would this be enough to put the engine running the way it is? Possibly. It's definitely out of timing, and we're gonna have to get it done. Now, my concern with all of this is how I'm gonna get that bolt out. That's my main concern now, because I really don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get new bolts, that's for sure, but to take them off, that might gonna be a challenge. Let's see what I can do. Let's see if I'm gonna manage to get these out or not, and we'll go from there. But it's not looking very good. Right, so that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to try to time these right and see what happens afterwards. If that's enough for the engine not to run right, it might be. I don't know if these sprockets, well, they look okay here, so they look okay to me here, so it's not too bad. But the cams are definitely out. One cam is definitely out of timing. Okay, so luckily this cap was not over tighted, and it came out. It slipped a couple times, so I managed to pull it out. Am I gonna have to get new caps for this, because this is just I don't want to have to put the same ones back in. But now we're gonna take and do the bolt and move the camshaft to its position, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I went a little bit further, and timing belt is out. That's out. The tensioner, I already loosened this bolt, and as soon as I did, obviously this is locked here in place. Well, this is like that, but this one was already in place. But this one, as soon as I loosened it, obviously moved that way. If you remember, before was right there. The top of this lobe was right there in the middle. Now we moved across that way. It's a little bit too much. It should be the same roughly as this one is. Sorry, as this one is. So the tool now, obviously, still goes okay on this side. But now we're going to have to rotate this camshaft until the tool goes on that side. So we'll do this. Let me place the camera. We'll do this on camera. Okay, guys, and I've been here literally scratching my head because something is not right. So the engine is timed in there now. Okay, so I managed to get the tool on both, and I still having this issue. So this one is alright on cylinder 3. It's facing up, tilting into the inside of the engine. So if you see there, but that one, number 2, still 2 further back. It should be roughly there, and I don't know why it's not going there. Yes, I don't know, something's not right, and I don't know what it is, and I don't know what it is. Is this the right camshaft? Jeez, what am I gonna do with this? What am I gonna do with this? Oh. I really don't know. Interestingly as well, these camshafts here, these signal rings, they are different than the last one I've opened. The other one used to have some teeth. This is just sort of half moon, and that's it. Oh man, what has been done on this? Oh, okay. Let me think. Okay, so everything is back in place. I know I skipped a lot of steps, and even torques and everything, but there's a lot of information out there about how to get this done, and I already did videos in the past where I go much more detailed. Now I still a little bit confused as why this engine block head is the A16 XER, and then the camshafts, the signal rings at the end of the camshafts for the A16 XER is supposed to be different. They are the ones the same as I've done not long ago. One of these where a tooth was broken on one of the signal rings or relector rings, wherever you want to call it. Now, but because this is the Z, at least on the ECU is the Z, supposed to be the Z, maybe they used the block head everything from the Z, but then they used the camshafts for the XER, because the XER, the Z XER, the camshafts, relector rings are supposed to be those sort just half moons, sort of. At least that's the information I found. Now I'm still a bit confused. Don't know if someone's been messing about with this, if someone swapped. I don't know. I don't have the background. As I said, this came from auction, so it's a little bit difficult to tell. So I put that one on timing. Then I've gave 2 turns to the engine. From a surprise, when I tried to time everything again, this one was out. So I had to time this side as well. Give another 2 turns. Actually, I gave about 4 turns to the engine by hand, and everything timed in okay at the end. So I'm quite happy with this. So we're going to try to start it. And I'm not going to even stop. So I think I have everything plugged in. Everything is okay to go for it. So I just want to... Actually, I need to drop one thing here. Sorry about that. Because it's still... Oh, even though everything is in place, I think the jack is still forcing the engine slightly. There we go. So we're gonna back. There we go. So now the engine is just supported by what it's supposed to be. So this cover we'll put in back later. Right, I don't know what's gonna happen, but we're gonna have to try and see what happens. Right, let's go. Ooh. It doesn't even start now. Ooh. Oh, no, it started fine. Okay, and it's running. I think the reason why it took a little bit to start was because there was no oil on the VVT sprockets, on the dephasers, if you want to call it. Let's try this again. It's not running right, isn't it? I can say that it's definitely running better than before. I mean, at least now that it's running. It seems to be running slightly better, but I'm not sure. I'm not happy with what... I don't know. Let's see it. Still right. Okay, these codes are not present at the moment, but let's face it, they were not always present, so let me see what he's doing. I think it's additional data, list 3. This is, I don't know, I don't think this is right. pretty much where it was before, isn't it? Minus 26. Okay, this video is getting a little bit messed up, but I still want to share this with you. So the last clip you've seen was like 3 days ago or so. Off camera, I managed to start the car loads of times, start and stop, start and stop. It's very difficult to start the car from the key. A couple times or a few times I had to actually spray a little bit of easy start to fire it up. But once he's running, he holds revs okay. Once he's kind of running, he holds revs okay, as you might have seen, and he actually sounds better than he was before. The code for the timing never came back on. Okay, I started and stopped there. I had it running. I accelerated the engine, stopped it, started. That code never came back on. No, the spinner light, whatever, never came back on. The engine, obviously, 100% I timed the engine right. So electronically, the ECU is seeing the engine on the right timing. So he's happy with that. The problem is how the car is starting now, and the way it sounds, the way when you crank the engine, the way the engine sounds, to me looks like there's no compression. So I have a theory, but before that, let me show you. So I'm doing a compression test, and this is the first cylinder, and then I will do the rest of the cylinders on camera. But this is cylinder 1, and this is my compression. I know, there is barely nothing. So we're going to do now the second cylinder. I'll do all the other 3 cylinders on camera, and we'll see what happens. But there's no compression on this engine, and that's why it's not starting at the moment. Okay, cylinder number 2. I should be able to do this from the driver window. Let me see if I can crank it. That's it. That's all you have. It's gonna go number 3. Very strange because they all look like they have the same. If they all have the same, I don't know. This one is slightly better. Try that one now. Oh, not that. That's not the key. Okay, slightly better on these last 2, but still nowhere near for this car to start. So, what kind of explanation can we give if we have the engine 100% timed and we have no compression? Can we guess? So I have a feeling that this car either jumped a teeth on the timing or snapped the timing belt, maybe bent some valves, and they just put everything back on brand new thinking that would have fixed the problem. Perhaps that's the only explanation. I'm going to do a quick thing just to see if there's anything visible, and we'll just try to see what happens there, but if I can see anything. Okay, so as you can see, I'm putting a camera inside the cylinders. I first put just the camera. I want to see if there's any marks on top of the pistons. maybe to show that the valves have touched the pistons. I can't really see that, but well, the engine has been running after that anyway, so but I can't really see any marks. But I put, hold on, let me see if I show you. So what I've done, I put this glass there, this sort of adapter, and what this does for the camera is allows the camera to see on the side. So as you can see there, I'm pointing down, and you can see me here. Okay, so what it does is allows the camera to literally see the walls of the cylinders. And you guys might want to tell me what this is, because I really don't know. I mean, I think I know, but let me just put this in a place where we're gonna be able to see it. Okay, so I don't know how good it's gonna show. Oh well. Okay, so I know there is a little bit of glare, but this is cylinder number 2. And as you can see, I'm gonna put it through the spark plug hole. So the threads, as you can see, all the threads going down. Then we get the head gasket there. Okay, so this is where, so this is the end of the head. That's going to be the head gasket right here. And now look at the walls of these cylinders. Look at that. Look, what's that? Look at this area. So polished. Look at that. Look, what's wrong in these walls? It looks like they've been eaten by some sort of rust. Let me try cylinder number 3. So again, same thing. Okay, the end of the gasket, the end of the, so this is the top of the head gasket. Now the cylinder wall. Look at that. Look at that. It's like if it's corroded. Look, it's pitted all over the place. Let me see if I can turn the camera around inside the cylinder so you can see maybe other areas. Look at that. What's that in there in the corner? Look. Try now cylinder 2 facing the other side of the cylinder. Look, it's all this usually is a polished surface. You can't really, let me turn it around. Can't really see nothing turning that way. Okay, top of the head. Look, what's that? Look how the end, look at that. What happened here? I know the picture doesn't show very well, but it looks like the cylinder surface are completely destroyed. That's why it looks to me. Don't know if it was, I don't know. Was this a flooded engine that had water inside? Maybe judging by the cams at the top. I just don't know. I really just don't know. But it doesn't look good, and I don't want to take this head out, because if this is actually on the cylinders, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do anyway. But yeah, these cylinders are bad. I might take the head just to show you, but honestly, I don't think I'm going to do that. Okay, and this is going to be another diagnosed, no fix. Just spoke with the owner over the phone. The guy was actually happy to bring me a block. He offered to bring a block or an entire engine, but no chance I'm going to be doing that here on the floor. That's a no-no. So I explained to him what the problem is. I'll show him the footage when he comes around. I will explain to him exactly what's wrong with this, although I already did, but I will take him a little bit more in detail. And that's it, guys. So in the end, no compression, damaged cylinder walls, if you will, as you have seen. And I can only guess that this is a engine that got water inside, and someone just put all this stuff back on and hope for the best. It should have clicked, to be honest with you. You remember back in the video when I mentioned the rust on the cam? That could have been a good clue, but I never thought the rust would have gone all the way into the cylinders. So that's it, guys. It's gonna need an engine or a block. You can just get the block and transfer all the rest. A lot of labor for that, or you can get a wall engine. I don't know what he's going to do. That will be up to him now. My bit is done. So a little bit of wasting time getting the timing right, etc. But I mean, the timer was out, as you guys have seen. There was no questions about it. I think if I would have approached this... Okay, right. As you can see, we are not in the Astra anymore. We are on the Volkswagen Passat, which is going to be a video that you're going to see either next or maybe the next, which, interestingly enough, is going to be another video that has been diagnosed, or another car that has been diagnosed but not repaired, same as this Astra. I've been going through a few of those lately. Not very good. But I decided to stop here to just try to clarify a few things. Obviously, we do understand there was something wrong with the timing. So we found the issue with the cylinders, which to me just is pointless now to try to work out what's wrong with the intakes, camshafts, whatever. But that does not explain that the car got worse. So that the state of the cylinder walls does not justify why the car started worse when I put the engine on the right time. Maybe, I don't know. Another thing that doesn't really make much sense was why, and I mentioned that back in the video, it was why when I timed the engine correctly, the lobes on cylinder 2 and 3, they were not the way they're supposed to be. So they were both supposed to be up like that, but facing the inside, facing slightly each other, and they were not like that. So exhaust was the way it should, but intake was pretty much upright. So something was not right there. And after that, guys, just so you know, I never recorded, but it doesn't really matter, because the car was so hard to start. I actually timed the engine back the way it was when I initially got the car. So I had to put the timing out again in order for the car to start slightly better. And what I had to do was basically put the lobes like this, both of them. Okay, but when I do this, the tool at the end of the camshafts doesn't fit. So, but when I did that, the car starts slightly better. I never checked the compression of the cylinders after that. Probably I should have, but it was pointless at this point, to be fair with you. But when I did that, the car started slightly better. So, but what I don't understand is why the tool doesn't fit when the camshafts are supposed to be in the right position based on the position of the lobes, but it's not where the tool fits. So either the camshaft was wrong for that engine or for this engine. I'm talking this because I don't have the car anymore, so I say for this engine. So either the camshaft is wrong for this engine, or maybe something happened that twisted the camshaft. It's a possibility. I think, don't know, if the camshaft would twist rather than just break. I'm not 100% sure. All I know was that at this point it was quite pointless for me to try to waste any more time, try to understand the issues with the timing, try to maybe match part numbers to make sure they would match to these particular engines, so they should fit on this car. Whatever, it was pointless. Once I've seen the cylinders in that state, was really pointless. And I think that's just important, because obviously I'm sure some of you would say, whoa, but that doesn't explain the timing issue and this and the other. So I just wanted to make you aware. Yes, I do agree, it doesn't explain the issue with the timing. The only thing is that it's pointless now for me to try to understand what's wrong with that when there is a bigger issue that, even if I get that right, it's not going to resolve the rest. So it's pointless for me to try to fix and figure out what's wrong with the camshafts, timing, etc. When even if I do that, you still have the problem in the cylinders. So even if the car would run slightly better, it would be burning oil like no tomorrow. The way it would burn oil like no tomorrow, and would never run right anyway. So I just thought about interject here on the video, and that's all I want to say, really. So let's go back to it. But I think in the end we found the problem, so it's diagnosed, so he doesn't need to spend any more money on anything. I don't think this was him that spent the money. I don't know if he was or not. I think what he said to me was these valves were replaced, and that's it. But even those valves were replaced for no reason, as you can see now. That, I don't know who did it, but well, a waste of time on this engine, the way the engine block is. So that's why it is, guys. So with no further ado, I still hope you enjoyed the video. I still hope there's some information here somehow on this messy video, but that makes any sense, and I hope it helps someone out there. But you know, if you do have any questions or any comments, you know how it works, guys, put them below. And like always, thank you for watching.